Hey guys, welcome to Comfy Cozy Up. So today we're going to talk about our March wrap up. Yeah, spring. Yes, we're getting close to the warmer days, even though the last 2 days have been freezing. But I'm very excited for April. If you have not watched the previous video or follow me on Instagram, the AJournalmood challenge starts on April 1st. If you see this video late, no problem, just jump in whenever you can. The calendar can be found on my Instagram as well as my blog, and there's a word prompt for each day. So if you're joining me, let me know. And if you are on these social media, you do join me on there, use the hashtag AJournalmood as well as tag me so that I can share or join follow along with your journaling process. Yeah, there will be a Zoom chat at the end of the month, and you want to partake in that, let me know and I'll send you a link towards the end of the month. So I'm excited. So guys, let's talk about March. 5 books, guys, 5 books, and 5 books that I am pretty okay with because they were good length books. They weren't that short, and some were fun, some were you know, a little bit of adventurous and different. But let's talk about them. So first I'm going to talk about the books that I have reviewed, and so I will link the review there. But you know, March was March Mystery Madness, so I did get 2 mystery in. I did not get to read the 3rd one, but Blanche and Among the Talented 10, and this is when Blanche is now in a new area, a new city, amongst the elite, which we say the black elite, and there were some issues as she's there where the brown people back issue, as well as the have and the have not, and what this family that she's encountered are holding on to, and secrets. And there are deaths happen in this, whether the death was accident or someone did something. That's where you find out the mystery in this. I like Blanche in this one. Of course, Blanche is still nosy. Blanche is still putting herself in positions where she is kind of got herself, messed up, because she's, digging into these rich people who wants to keep their lifestyle and their secret that way. So I say read this. I do have, I think, 2 or 3 left. I think it's 4. I think it's 4 in the series, and this is the 2nd one. So start with the first one, which is Blanche and the Lamb, and then get into this one. The next book is also a series. All these books, now that I think about it, all the books I read this month are part of a series. Don't know how that happened. But this one is the first book in the Easy Rowley series from Walter Mosley. This is Devil in a Blue Dress. I love that I did this one. This one was fun because I read the book and I watched the movie, which stars Denzel Washington. And this is another fun mystery crime situation. This is where you have a man who's a little bit down on his luck. He's had lost his job and he needed money, and this man wanted him to find this woman who happens to be a white woman. You see the drift? 1948, this black man looking for a white woman. Yeah. So there's a lot of secrets in this. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of political involvement as well, and money and all these things happening. This really was a page turner. There's no boring anything in this. The whole thing is like constantly something happened. I love the side character Mouse in this. He was just a badass. Just didn't care. I absolutely love him in this, and the movie even better because that character was played by Don Cheadle, which was one of his first acting role before anyone really know who he was. So if you haven't seen that vlog I did, watch that vlog. Also, join me in the series. I will be continuing. It's a long series. This is something I plan on reading within years. It's not going to be a quick one because it's 15 books I believe in a series, but I will definitely pick them up. And if they do have a movie, I know a lot of them do not have a movie attached to it because Denzel did not continue on with this movie series. But I don't know if he did any other movie, but we'll find out. So I'll definitely read the 2nd book, maybe 2 more books out of the series this year. That's the plan. And if you have read the series, Let me know how you enjoyed. Did it get better? Did it get more interested? Because this was a good start and I love it. Then I decided I wanted to do some contemporary little chick lit, and this is where I did get the first book, and then I realized that that's not the first book, so I had to order the first book, and the first book was The Other Side, and this one, this one is about 3 women. They are different ages. They're ranging from 30, 40, and 50, and this is about the matters of the heart. They have been in complicated relationship that kind of left a scar on them, and the oldest one went to this new town in the south for a job. She's like that businesswoman. She's running into a medical facility. She's the boss, you know. When she got there, she met a young lady, and this young lady who happens to share the same birthday as her. They were out alone on their birthday night, and they're talking, they're sharing a bit of, somehow this just bonded over the fact that it was their birthday, the fact they were out alone, and they became friends. And the 50-year-old character also have a cousin who is a writer, and she is basically had a really bad relationship where she, you know, she jacked up the man's apartment, and she's still hurt, she's still going through it, so she decided to go down to stay with her cousin. So all these 3 women now in this town, of course they're attractive, they're meeting guys, and they in essence fall in love, but some fall in love with the right guys, some not the right guys. So there's that secret, that things that's happening and how they get through it. So this one is where the sweet part, they meet the guy, what next? Then you meet the blindsided, is where you get the who really met the right guy and who really needed to run in this one. This one talks about a subject matter of intimacy and issues in that area that was entertaining, but then it also was like, oh, that's just messed up kind of deal. Overall, these 2 books, I did a review, a reading vlog on these. The only issue I had, I love this series, but the only issue I really had is she repeated too much in the second book. And I don't know, she thought that maybe the second book might be a book that people grab first without reading the first book. So as somebody who has read the first one, it was just a little annoying at times where I'm like, okay, we know that. Like, we know that kind of deal. So I don't know if that's what she's thinking. I think if people just pick up the blind side, they're going to get they might not notice it because if they didn't read the first one. But I noticed it a lot because I was just like, yeah, we don't need to do all that. So that's the only qualm I had. Now, the big beast. Moon Witch, Spider King, the Marlon James. Now I'm going to be the person to say, I get why people like this. The Moon Witch. Homegirl is not playing. Homegirl is living off revenge, is living off hurt, is living off a whole lot of things, and you get to see why. So this is a story about a child that is in people are seeking, and there are different people. So if you read the first one, so this is the second book in the Black Leopard Red Wolf. Now in that book you get in Tracker, and he is hired essentially to find this boy because he has this keen on his nose and he can really track someone from miles away. Now in that first one you did meet the Moon Witch, but you don't get to know her per se. This book is where you get to know her. You're getting her life story. You're getting from when she was conceived. You're getting from how she become this hated child that end up in a kingdom. This is the kingdom where all the drama started with this boy. And there is so many backstories on the boy that it did give you that clarity in this one versus in Red Wolf, Black Leopard Red Wolf, because of the fact that in that book you're getting the point of view of tracker, who was in the blind of who this boy really was, versus in this she has more clarity of who the boy is supposed to be, what is the actual reason why this boy needed to be found. You get more detail of that in this. Now what I like is, even though this is a retelling in terms of the point of view of a different character, it felt like a whole different book. You are not going to be thinking about the first book at all until you get to literally this part. You see the size of this book. This is when you get into the other part of the book where you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember. But other than that, the chunk of this book felt like a different book, because you are really getting into the life of this woman who has lived many lives, who has not been able to die, who has this power that she doesn't really know where it came from initially, because that power has been able to protect her over the years. And there are other characters that's in this. There is that whole love thing where she met a soldier, and that kind of romance that was there, but then there's that pain that comes along with it, and all the other weird interesting things. This is when I was like, we know Marlon Jane got this effed up personality when it comes to writing, because there's some things that's happening in this where I'm kind of like that's some crazy shit. That's what I put it. And I'm just like, wow, but I see why people love it. Now, there are bits of pieces of book that I loved. I loved the first book in terms of the adventure, where they're going to different cities, and this whole suspense, because you don't know, like, majority of the book, why is this boy important. And then track of personality, you get to. But this one, she just on a whole nother level, where I just love the main character. I'm going to say her name right. Sullivan. I still can't get it right. Sogalon. There you go. I still can't get it right. But I love that he did this story and focus on her, and focus on this woman who's just a badass. She just I mean, she even to the end, it's just like, yeah. So I believe it's supposed to be 3. I don't know who's going to be the main focus on for the last one. It's going to be actual interested how he did it. But he's just creative. He's not going to be every cup of tea when it comes to this, because this is high fantasy. This is a fantasy. And I'm not a fantasy reader. But something about Marlon James where I just want to read all his books. And it's just I just love his writing style. I just love how crazy he can get, and how he can take you on a ride when he writes these stories. So if you haven't read this, you will like this better than the first one if you weren't a fan of the first one. If you were a fan of the first one, this is just another element where you're going to be like, yes. But I would rate them the same, because they're, like I said, there's just certain things I love about each of them. So, yeah, I'm here for this. I was very, very happy that I got through this book. So, these are all the books I read. And I have some more chunker for next month. The next video I will talk about what I plan on reading, because I did pick up 2 new books. I do have Mr. Dickens back here that I want to start. A Harlem Renaissance that I also want to start, because it came out in a different print now. So I can read it better, because I did like the original print, and it's also on Kindle. So that might get read as well next month, but we'll talk about that in the next video. But for now, let me know if you've read any of these books, if you enjoy it, what's your favorite book for the month, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.